All right, all you whiners and snivellers out there who have been just browbeating me to start another project, I'm going to go ahead and cave in. But I'm not going to do it in the sense of doing a step-by-step radio restoration. No, I needed to find middle ground where I would not be doing a step-by-step restoration, but at the same time, everybody would be learning something. And it involves, of course, our current project, the 1931 Airline Model 6214. It's been totally derusted and painted with primer. And it's been, just kind of sitting there all this time. We also put a long terminal strip here and fixed it to the chassis in a previous video. So, the old can dome resistor, it's in the garbage. It's long gone, probably in the landfill. Don't care, don't never want to see it again. Anyway, let me explain to you what our new project is. Some of you will be happy, some of you won't. Some of you will be indifferent. Won't matter to you either way. Me, I'll feel better about it because I don't have to do a step-by-step, saying the same things over and over and over and over and over that I've said a million times in the past, doing things that you have seen a million times in the past. So here we go. The schematic for this chassis was really, really hard to read. I got it off of Nostalgia Air. It's very, very blurry. Now I could read some numbers, but when you got down to stuff like this right here, I just had a tough time trying to figure out exactly what that was saying. It looks like a 3, and this looks like a 0.05, but some of the stuff was just very difficult down here on these resistors. I could barely read those numbers right there. Anyway, I went ahead and put a posting on the Antique Radio Forum, and I said, hey, look, anybody can help me. I think these are the resistance readings of these resistors, and I listed them on the posting that I did, and I said, can anybody verify that? Well, one guy said, yeah, I think you're right. That's what they are. And another fella named T-Bone, Antique Radio Forum member T-Bone. His name is Tony. He said, I'll tell you what, John, send me your email and a private message, your email address, and I'll send you a nice, clear, scanned copy. I have all the rider's schematics. I said, that's great, man. That was super of him to even offer that. I appreciated that. Anyway, he sent back a scanned copy, and here it is right here. Nice and clear. I can make out just about everything, as you can see. It's very clear. All the little numbers and everything. Everything's great. And when you get down a little closer, you can even see if I can get some clarity here. Look at that. Very nice. By the way, that M right there means 1,000. In the old days, they used M instead of K. Look at that. I can tell you what the capacitor number is and the value. This is great because there is no, in the rider's setup material paperwork, there is no listing like we have nowadays of all the parts. Matter of fact, if you look right here, you'll see that we don't even know what the field coil resistance is. They don't even list it, and they don't show it in the paperwork either. At least I couldn't find it. So that's going to be a real problem, but I think I have that. I think I have that whipped. Anyway, so I took the small one, which is this big, not very large, and I took it to our HR lady, and I said, can you blow that up on the copier machine, make it a little bigger for me? She said, yes, I can. So she blew it up to 155%, and the clarity was still very good. I could still read it really nice. Okay. Then I said, well, we need to have it bigger. So I took this down to Office Depot. It could have gone to Staples or any place else like that, and I got this. This is what we now have. Cost me 28 cents. So to go from a blurry schematic like this to a scanned copy, which was wonderful, sent by T-Bone, to this, the whole thing cost me 28 cents. Heck of a deal, heck of a deal. Now I'm going to talk to you in a second about what are we going to do with this. Well, we, ladies and gentlemen, are going to use this schematic to rewire this chassis. Look at this chassis. And we've got wires that are cut and hanging. They're hanging everywhere. They're cut. Now these down here I cut myself. They're just hanging there. Now mostly, you know, a young guy would look at this and say, oh my God, I can't do anything with this. Everything's cut. There's another cut wire. There's another cut wire down there. Another one down in there. There's just cut wires everywhere. What do we do? I mean, how do we put this together? Yeah, this is a schematic, and you know, if I was to try to follow this schematic and put this back together, it would be, yeah, I'd get lost in like no time. Well, I'm going to try to dispel some of that fear that you may have. This is for the young guys, the older types. You know, go watch a movie or something. The young guys or the folks that just have never really done this before, no matter what your age. When I say young, I'm talking about the new guys on the block, the new radio guys. Yes, we are going to rewire this thing. Oop, phone's ringing. Must be the wife. All right, where were we? Yeah, okay. We are going to replace with the wires and the components in the chassis in accordance with the schematic. Now we're going to look at the schematic and we're going to find a component, and then we're going to follow the wires wherever they go, and then we're going to go to the chassis and we're going to find it there. Or we're going to pick it up in the chassis and follow something out and then try to find it on the schematic. Why would we want to do either or? I'll tell you, because what's there is there. Same, okay? There's no difference. Now, what I did was I went to this small schematic that was given to me by T-Bone, who scanned it and sent it via email. And I extracted every single component off of there. Every single one. I made a big old long list of all the capacitors. If I can get this thing unfolded, as usual, I'm prepared. Anyway, here we go. I made a big old long list of all the resistors on the right, all the capacitors on the left, to include the electrolytics. Down here I have the 5-watt resistors we'll be using. Now the 5-watt resistors will take the place of the can-dome resistor. The can-dome resistor, if you'll recall, was that great big long metal thing that we took out, and I have them highlighted here in pink, okay? We have each of the values, so we're going to be replacing that can-dome resistor with 5-watt resistors. You know, that can-dome resistor got pretty hot, so that's why we have to go with 5-watt. I've tried using half watts and 1 watts. It does not work. They will cook out of there. Got to go with 5-watt, you know, the ceramic types. This kind right here, these little white jobbies, that's a 5-watt resistor right there, wire wound, ceramic type. Now here are all the, I took all the parts that I had on hand and put them all in the bag in accordance with this list right here, okay? And of course, I didn't have all that I needed. I didn't, for instance, I didn't have a 40K half-watt resistor. Some of the electrolytics I don't have. Some of the 5-watt resistors I don't have. Tomorrow I'm going to put in a complete order for the stuff I don't have, and then when we're done, when they come in, we will begin on this project. I hope you all are kind of looking forward to that. Like I said, the old timers have been doing this for years. It'll just bore you to death. You know, the new types, as I repeatedly say, my videos are geared toward. Hopefully you get something out of it. Now, of course, this thing here, I'm going to try to find out if I can remove that completely. I don't know. I should be able to. I don't know why. It's got a bunch of small resistors in it, probably 100 to 150 picofarads. That, you know, they're the ones in the IF cans. These here, they're not even labeled with a part number. They're inside here, okay? I'm almost certain of that, but we're going to find out. It's filled with tar. Going to have to be heated. Everything going to have to come out of there. Anyway, that's going to be the project. You know, I don't have to do a step-by-step restoration. I don't have to ohm out all the coils for you and all that. You know, that's already been done. All the coils are good. And we did a repair a few videos ago on a mishmash video. We did a repair of the power transformer, which was non-functional, if you'll recall. It seems to be holding good, and hopefully it'll continue to hold, and we'll get it back in the radio. It's going to be a long series, guys, you know, I mean, fairly long. I'm not going to rush this. I'm going to explain things in probably overkill detail, but, you know, that's what it's all about. You can always refer back to it at a later date if you buy a radio like this. And hopefully this kind of stuff won't spook you or get you all freaked out. You know, when you say, oh my God, look at all this wires loose. How can I ever find out where they go? That tells you where they go. Any questions, let me know. We're going to, like I said, we will get her going. And it'll take probably 10 days or so for all these components that I need to come in. I'm going to be ordering them from Just Radios up in Canada. I'm not too crazy about doing that, but they have the most stuff for the Restore. The problem I have with them is they have that $20 minimum order business. That bugs me. They would get a whole lot more orders from me throughout the year if they would, do away with that. And right now, other companies are getting that money. They should get the money. They have the best selection. But, if I don't have exactly $20 worth, I'm not going to buy extra stuff I don't need just to meet the $20 requirement. So I spend my money elsewhere. It's kind of a shame, actually, from my point of view, okay? All right, that's it for now. I hope you all look forward to this. I expect some input from you guys. And during the time of the series, when we're doing all this, I expect more input. I don't want you all just sitting out there watching, kicking your feet up, eating popcorn, enjoying the show. No, you're the ones that wanted this. A lot of you guys out there saying, oh, I want you to do another radio. I want you to do another radio. All right, fine. But I'll tell you, I'm going to let you know right now, if I see a general lack of subscriber interest, we'll stop the series, okay? Just like I did with the Mishmash, stock market investment series. Folks just weren't interested. If folks aren't interested, I'm not going to waste your time, and I'm not going to waste my time. So that's it for now. The next Mishmash video, like I said, will be up soon, probably, hopefully this weekend. It'll be about what I learned with that, switching the tube rectifier to solid state in my Hammerlin HQ129X. I want to get that done before we crank up in this. This will be a separate series from the Mishmash. Of course, the Mishmash will continue on, but we won't have quite as many as we have been having lately. So until then, this is John. Well, as usual, there's always a little post script to the video. I never can seem to end them once and for all, and that's it. Once in a while I get lucky, though. This is the wire we'll be using in the chassis, and we'll be using the white for all of the wiring. As you'll notice that the original wiring was all white, so why not? We'll just go ahead and stick with the white. It's 22 gauge, all of this wire. Some of it's solid, some of it is stranded wire. We have some black wire we'll be using there and there. That'll be for the grounds. The green wire I've decided to use for the filaments or the heaters. And we'll show you, where to use solid versus where to use the stranded. I'm really kind of looking forward to all this. This ought to be some fun.